Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. People's National Party releases manifesto, while Jamaica Labour Party says manifesto to be released this weekend. St. Andrew South Police lists 10 most wanted men in the division. And later in sports, Cavalier begin CONCACAF Champions Cup campaign against FC Cincinnati. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. We begin with the news of a car accident. A student is among at least 2 people injured in a motor vehicle crash along the Bogue Main Road in St. James this morning. The incident is causing a traffic pileup along that thoroughfare. Now, it's understood that the driver of a Voxy bus lost control of the vehicle while driving along the roadway and slammed into a tree. The female student has been trapped in the vehicle. Up to news time, firefighters who were on the scene were still trying to cut her from the wreckage. The driver, who was thrown from the vehicle on impact, was found unconscious and is to be taken to hospital by ambulance. Now we'll have more details on this story in Primetime News at 7. The St. Andrew South Police say the war to control turf in the police division has led to a rise in shootings within the police division over the last 3 weeks. That assessment following the shooting death of a man in Greenwich Farm and another attack in Duane Park on Wednesday. Details in this report. Gang warfare continues to be a major challenge within the St. Andrew South Police Division. This is especially within the Greenwich Farm and New Haven Duane Park communities. Reports are that about 8:15 Wednesday morning, Steve Facey was shot and killed by gunmen in his yard. DSP Hemford Wade is a crime officer for the division.
Citizens have heard explosion sounding like gunshot, and when they make check, they found this gentleman unresponsive. They took him to the Kingston public hospital, where he was pronounced dead by the doctor on duty.
And would you link this morning's incident in Greenwich Farm to any gang conflict or a one-off thing?
Based on what we have unearthed so far, not only with this investigation, but there seems to be some gang activities going on within the past month or so. Possible fighting for turf and those type of stuff is coming to us.
And just over an hour later, the police had to respond to another incident, this time in Duane Park. It's reported that a lone gunman entered a plaza in the area and started firing shots. He was challenged by an off-duty police officer. When the shooting ended, 2 persons, including the gunman, were seen suffering from bullet wounds. They were rushed to hospital where the gunman was pronounced dead and the other person admitted in stable condition.
Very early days also, but so far, responding to what happened, the police would have 1 person in custody, doing several investigations around these persons. Have obtained statements and also probing possible DNA aspect of this person to see if it can advance in bringing some form of closure. We are not able to say yet the motive behind this activity, but based on the initial investigation, we actually seen that the possibility that the perpetrator could have been from the New Haven area, that also we have seen some increased activities.
The police is now asking Kareem Mills, OC Deafy Boy, who is a person of interest in the shooting, to turn himself in.
He is one of the players that is causing some degree of anxiety amongst the citizens in that area.
In the meantime, head of the St. Andrew South Police has listed 10 men who are on the division's wanted list. This follows what SSP Kirk Ricketts says is an increase in violent activities over the last 2 weeks in the space. Those wanted by the police are Andrew Powell, OC Killer or Bounty, and Rashid Thomas, OC Kobe, both from Waterhouse. Persons wanted from the Painland community are O'Shane Cephas, otherwise called Itty, or IT, rather, and Dwight Miller, OC Glasses, and Teddy Bear, also known as Herbal.
We have been asking Anthony Reynolds, otherwise known as Sonson. If you remember, he's wanted for the murder of Danique Salmon, that 5-year-old child who was killed in her bed. He remains elusive and is continuing to give us some issues in the space. We're asking him to turn himself in. He's wanted for murder. And Kareem Mills, otherwise known as Deafy Boy. He has been fingered in a number of incidents as early as this morning. He's a person of interest for murder, and he frequents places like Queensboro Drive, New Haven, Duane Park.
Others include Jesse McLaren from the Coburn Gardens area, Derek Johnson, otherwise called Bush, from Greenwich Farm, and Eddie Francis from Boat Island community.
The persons who are wanted are deemed to be fully, where we have case files ready to take them before the courts. It would be in their best interest to come turn themselves into the police for us to have that kind of arrangements done. And the persons who are deemed to be persons of interest, we do believe that they can assist us in particular investigations, and we are asking them to turn themselves in to have that discussion to, one way or another, clear their name, or we can put the matter before a court.
Entrenching fixed election dates for local government in the Constitution and enacting legislation for the direct election of mayors across all municipal corporations are among the commitments being put forward by the People's National Party. The pledges are included in the PNP's policy priorities for the 2024 local government released today.
The People's National Party manifesto begins with a list of achievements in the local government reform process, including the passage of the Constitution Amendment Local Government Act 2015. The PNP then goes on to set out how it will achieve participatory democracy through 6 broad areas in health, security, governance, the environment, the economy, and social services. Under community development and citizen security, crime and violence will be treated as a public health issue and will involve a multifaceted approach that will target antisocial behavior and violent crime at the local level. The PNP also plans to expand the Jamaica Eye infrastructure to cover strategic points across local communities. Moving to health, citizens, and healthy communities, the PNP intends to reinstate the Public Board of Health within the operational responsibility of municipal corporations and implement comprehensive health education programs at the community level. Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, the Jamaica Labour Party says its manifesto will be released by the end of this week. JLP councillor candidate for the Papine Division, Venetia Phillips, says the manifesto was prepared and has been ready for some time.
There was a determination to be made as to whether there should be an online launch or the traditional launch of the manifesto. I think the option will be the online launch, simply because we believe the reach would be much further.
So, how long are you going to deliberate over that, though?
I think
because at this rate,
you certainly will get it done by the end of this week. You would certainly see the manifesto launched online.
By the end of this week is
Saturday.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF High Command describes as false reports on social media about the temporary cessation of overtime payments under its Workforce Management System, WMS. In a release a short while ago, the JCF says the claims are baseless and without merit. It says at the end of February 2024, over $651 million in overtime payments was disbursed to members, and the timely and accurate payment of overtime will continue. According to the JCF, since the system's inception in April 2023, more than $4.9 billion in overtime has been paid out to more than 12,500 rank and file members, with an average of over 10,000 members receiving overtime payments each month. The JCF also questioned the timing of the reports, adding that it is aimed at creating unrest and discord in the police force. And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Mayor of Kingston, Delroy Williams, is dismissing claims of a looming increase in market fees. Mr. Williams is responding to opposition spokesperson on local government, Natalie Nita Garvey, who called for local government Minister Desmond McKenzie to reconsider any proposed increases. It follows a statement from Mr. McKenzie during the second local government debate last Saturday. But echoing a similar stance Mr. McKenzie made earlier, Mr. Williams says there is no such intention for an increase.
The vendors believe us because we have demonstrated over the last 6-7 years that we are not a government of increasing taxes. We have not done that over the last 6-7 years. So when we speak, our vendors believe we have no intention to increase market fees. We have demonstrated that we are committed to creating the environment for the vendors and them doing their business to flourish. We understand how important the vendors are to the city's economy, and we will treat them with the dignity that they deserve.
Residents of Poormans Corner and its environs in St. Thomas have now received water in their pipes after some 2 weeks without it. But they say while they are happy that water has returned, they are concerned about what will happen in the future, as this has been an ongoing issue.
I am happy that the water has returned from yesterday, despite the fact that not everybody has received the precious commodities so far. However, for the past 2 weeks, the residents of the phases 1, 2, 3, and 4 and its environs have been suffering from no water, a lack of water.
We have been having this issue, this problem with our pump, the NWC pump. I came here probably about 18 years ago, and I get to understand that this has been happening maybe over for the last 25 years, wherein once there is a power surge, for the most part, the pump is down, and it will be down for sometimes weeks.
Children want to go to school, toilet to flush. We don't have any water to bathe and all like that. We cannot wash any clothes. It is hard on us.
They are calling on the National Water Commission, NWC, for a permanent solution.
We would like the Water Commission to put an alternative in place to ensure that in the event that the pump is disabled, the residents, a vast amount of them, will still be able to have the precious commodity.
It has been a tremendous point of great concern for the scheme, and we really need some remedy. If we need a backup pump or a power surge protector or something like that.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. Real value added for the agriculture sector was 2.4% for the October to December quarter. Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, linked the improvement to the amount of hectares reaped and higher output per hectare.
The outturn was in response to higher demand, particularly from the hotels and restaurants industry. The industry's performance was driven by higher output in all subcomponents of the industry, with the exception of animal farming. The other agricultural crops component was estimated to have grown by 1.3%, reflecting higher production in 6 of the 9 crop groups, namely other tubers up 7.6%, plantains up 7%, legumes up 6.4%, vegetables up 3.2%, yams up 3.2%, and cereals up 1.4%.
Further afield, the leader of Boeing's troubled 737 MAX program is to leave the company, which has been under pressure since a piece of one of its jets blew out during a passenger flight in January. The departure of Ed Clark after nearly 18 years at the firm is part of a wider shakeup of the commercial airplane division announced on Wednesday. Boeing says the changes are aimed at improving its quality and safety. And that's it for the Business Minute. Time now for the top. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, Spencer Darlington will have your midday sports report.